Hello and welcome. This will be a video looking at the coin market website, practically, or the main part looking at BTC dominance as well as the market cap. Two charts that I find very important. I'll take a quick gander at the gainers, but there's also 4 coins that are traded on Cryptopia. 3 of which I just heard of minutes ago. 2 of the 4 are up big. 2 of the 4 are down big. These are extreme volatile moving codes. Okay. So then, everything of course within your own risk and reward, but that's mainly going to be within those 4 coins that I talk about. Bitcoin up 1 2/3%. So it's like a meh kind of day. You see the chart, the 7 days, trying to recover the losses it had on during the first half of the chart. A lot of the other coins showing the exact same thing. As far as some big movers are concerned, VeChain, never heard of. I've heard of that actually. Zcash, up 27%. I've talked about that, of course, a little bit. Anything else in here? Is one of the 4 got a high enough amount where it's in the top 100 that I've talked about? I don't think so. But the 4 I'm talking about currently are trading on high volume on Cryptopia. Nothing standing out too much. Best we're looking at is about 12%. Market cap. So I'm going to click on this button here because then I can see it a better screen size. I want to make sure you can see the right hand side because that's where the data is at the current level, but I need this on log scale. Ooh, little bit different. This is all. So let's just keep on shortening it out. 1 year is the next longest, which shows it is still holding this rally attempt. I like to use the word attempt here. And it's doing okay for now. You got to look at like the move, like take a ruler, if you will. And of course, Fibonacci retracement's what the ruler would be. From the low to this high, it's got to hold 61.8% of that move. That's basically what it's going to come down to. Year to date from the decline, it was a consistent pattern of lower highs and lower lows that we can see changed when the second week of April came into play. So we'll now go from year to date and swing it on to the 3-month chart. Now we can see the rally a little bit better because it had this extra pierce below just recently, thus making a lower low to here. Again, 61.8%. So just blindly, that 300 billion number seems to be where the must hold, maybe around 310, 325. 1 month time frame, we can see from this bottom in here, it's holding relatively well. Breaking out above what this resistance level is just from in here, and that's not going to highlight everything. So we can see the line is about 410, and it's a little higher than that really, with this high in here at about 413. But if you see the price getting above there, that's pretty darn near strong. Let's finish this off now with of the charts, that is, of these kinds and the 4 other codes. The percentage of on the Bitcoin. So there was a time where it was only Bitcoin. 2013, 92%. 2015, it crushed its way down to 78. So people, right around Christmas time of 2014, the Bitcoin traders, as few of them as there were back then, would have been saying, man, this is down a lot. The altcoins are kicking ass probably. But it goes back up to 86. It develops that huge range here. in March of 2016. So it establishes, it strengthens support. That's what I like about good duration of time when markets can stabilize for a good amount of periods. Consistently not making higher highs, but notice the fall from February of last year. At the end of the month, it just goes from the 84-ish or 85, 86% number, and it just keeps going down, crushing through this level of support it has yet to, and probably will never come back to. Down to about 39% instantly. And then, of course, interesting thing happened in the second half of last year up until November. That's when we seen Bitcoin continuously getting great gains where the altcoins were pretty much staying flat. So that made the Bitcoin dominance go higher. It goes up to 60%. So now all I want to see is from like just this little bit. So if I click on, say, the 1 year, this is where I would like to not see below, like, well, this number here, but it's definitely not a bullish pattern right now. You have this fall, the move that happened where the altcoins just kicked ass in the month of December, and many other coins into January, as this bottomed, of course, around January 6th. Altcoins having a big decline, worse than Bitcoin, because both Bitcoin and the altcoins go down. And of course, this is to April, and now the altcoins have been doing relatively well since. So within this decision moment that I talk about, I think it's very likely that if everything goes up, it's going to be that way, and the altcoins will go up at a higher percentage gain than that of Bitcoin. So let's take a look at 4 different codes. The first 3 I've never heard of until just before this video. The first is code HXX, hex. Down 9.89% against the dollar, 11% against Bitcoin for the day, but it's up. This baby is up. Oh, that's your chart, log scale. Of note, notice these lines on the log scale. They go up as they're designed in a log scale chart by 10x intervals. So we'll ignore this number below because it never went here. But from the start, there's a 10x gain, there's a 100x gain, and there's a 1000x gain from the intro. From this support level, if you bought on the break above as it was hitting this line, you have now experienced a 100x gain, and those who bought in November are doing better than 100x gains. I would never buy an overextended market unless I had information that would change otherwise, and that information is that it's going to keep going sky high, and this rally, this move isn't over, basically. Because even if it's going to go sky high, it's a very good chance this thing can roll over, maybe lose about 94% successfully on a bullish level. Because remember, going from one line down is a 90% reduction. That's all I'm going to say about this. I'm not playing it right now. I just noticed it. Interesting gain higher. NLX is up, and it's up today big. That's called, I haven't seen no limit coin in a while. I used to trade that. NLX, it's up big. I thought it was up bigger than that. I thought it was up like 300%. Okay, anyway. Up 20% against the dollar, up 18% against Bitcoin at 22.42, and yeah, that's the move. Let's put this in a log scale. I mean, it's not as volatile as the last code, but again, this is a 10x move per line. So it's had a 100x move from the bottom in May of last year. This has been around for quite some time. It has experienced a large amount of resistance in here, that it becomes a very interesting buy point if it happens to have a successful 94% retracement. Because again, going from one line down to the next is 90%. And where it came from is, well, this line in here, or the resistance from January. But when you look at this in perspective here, going from 33 Satoshi to 2,242, the profit potential, and I got none of this, I just heard of this chart today, is just wild. Let's go on to a loser. Another one I never heard of until earlier today. And it's code TER, Terra Nova. It's down 40% today to $6.18. Down 41% against the price of Bitcoin at 70,000 Satoshi. And this is the linear chart. It's been down pretty much since day one. But when you go log scale, what's up here? In January of 20, I know all the markets went up, but it's almost like this thing fell off like Niagara Falls, like a waterfall. And then it just went sideways doing nothing. It had a little bit of a blimp up, and it's not even down today because it's doing nothing today. It's nothing day today is down 40%. So the volatility amongst this is extreme. Log scale. Okay, so that's that January move. Again, let's put this into perspective as far as each one of these lines represents 10x. So those who bought when this was a parity with Bitcoin, yes, this was above Bitcoin price. July 18th, 124. I remember looking at it then and thinking, holy crap, there's actually something worth more than Bitcoin. Just remembered this now, and it has obviously declined because it has lost 90% of its value, like 4 times over from the one number. But then if you look at playing this move, you go from 18,000 Satoshi to where the price of Ethereum is below a 0.12. Price of like Bitcoin Cash, I think, or any of those other bigger ones. But the bottom line is it goes up 10, 100, 1,000x gains. And then the volatility in here to be able to sell, buy it back down here, gain a little bit of a sell here, buy it back, another big sell, and then buy it back again. Now you could be raking in so much in profits. If, of course, I'll quote Mr. Barker and Drew Carey, if the price is right. Now, the bottom line is this price is down a lot today because it's down like 40%. So what has happened? It's loading data from the server. There it is. So the price action's down from a failed spike rally. Generally speaking, if you are asking me, looking at everything that I've seen, and looking at this on the short term, would I be a buyer now? And I'm in a gambling mood, meaning I don't mind risking losing all. But if I'm in a gambling mood where I'm putting it all on risk, I want some good return possibilities. And I've already seen that can happen with this one. But when I see this, I see the breakout above. I want to see some more data. Yeah, so I see a breakout above this major congestion area, which it had. And this happened before we have on May the 12th, after it broke the level of support. See, this told us failed breakdown, fast move higher. But now that fast move higher is looking like a failed move. Ooh, yikes. Yeah. Yeah. So then, my answer would no, I would not be a buyer yet if I were to play this. But yes, it's something I want to get into because I look at this and I see this going from 72 to about 120, 128. So then, I think 50 handles where I'd want it to. I'd want to see this probably go below 50,000 to be a buyer. Minimum. Because I think that this failed move, after what I just see in here, this little sideways correction, accepting the down move by correcting it through time, accepting the down move with this rally here, failing instantly, accepting the down move after this rally short term at 6:49 UTC timestamp, has now, just for the last little bit, is just hovering this 7,000 handle. Yeah, I wouldn't be a buyer. Final chart is ETN. I think it's Electorium. I've traded this before. I'm up on this trade because I got both my positions were winners. I played it. I got in, I got out, I got in, and I got out. But it is down a lot from these January highs. Log scale. I got out. I played this rally higher. But then I bought back down in here in February at the lower end, and then I got out on a profit. And look at this not waterfall move, but a significant down move nonetheless. Now, this doesn't have the same volatility when we look at this from each log number, because from here to here, 2 to 4 is only 2x, not 10x. And each line isn't equally proportioned, but it is proportioned equally to the linear numbers, but to the logarithmic scaling. And I like them both that way. But sometimes I like this better with volatility within this nature. Now, the volatility is lower in comparison, but let's just look at this from perspective to price action. And only price pays. Currently, price is 273. The January highs, we're in at 1,200. So you go from 1,200 down even to 262. That's about a 6x loss. It's already had major volatility before for just buying low and selling high. Met on the outset, the start of this. It goes down, you have one rally pump, and it goes down. Another rally higher for some selling, and it goes down from November 14th through about November 26th. Selling opportunities from leaving November 26th up to December 5th. Very limited selling, but buying opportunities for up to December 17th. From December 17th up to December 23rd, selling. One buy opportunity, although you might have got multiple orders during that single time, to December 26th. And December 26th, it rallies all the way up to January 13th, and since then it's basically been mostly all buying. But of course, if you're able to buy like 600, 650, price goes to 800 or 898 in this case, a little bit of selling. All the buying that would be done here. Now, in situations like this, your portfolio value of your trades in ETN back in January would be doing a lot better than it is today. But overall, it would be doing fine, because when you can learn the art of profit taking so that when you have major gains that you can't lose, especially with the first ones, when you're able to get 10x and 100x, it makes it very easy to do. Not as easy here, but still relatively easy. To the point where if you invest 1 unit on something that goes up 7 times, it's so easy to cash out 4 or 5 of those units and never invest it back in that code again. You can't lose. In that type of sense. So that type of thinking means you're doing well. But the whole point of taking the losses is realizing that when you look at so many of these codes and you say those who held on, hodled if you will, trade along the ways are hodling, that's great, but when the big pumps and rallies occur later on, then you're able to get those gains, and it's a long-term game. It could be like February of 2019 before the big pump happens, and it's a long amount of sideways and down moves and very little sell opportunities. Okay. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Again, everything you do within your own risk, own reward. I do not see me getting into Electronium. I mean, I can't even pronounce it, obviously. I took 2 tries and both are probably incorrect. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.